Welcome to the Team Prosperity Weekly Wednesday meeting. Once again, just as a reminder, this is a meeting that goes directly into things that you can take away from the meeting, implement into your business for immediate results. So we are at mid-September, guys. So this is the best quarter of the year. We're coming into big announcements. We're coming into conventions. There's a lot going on, and the doors are getting ready to bust wide open on this business model, which means for our partners, enormous income opportunities for our clients, control, peace of mind, financial freedom, etc. Really, we want to talk about and we want to make sure we digest two main factors of the power of possibility. When I'm talking to potential partners, I'm talking to potential clients. First of all, we need to be aware of the possibilities. What's possible? And then number two, live your life with the possibilities and potential. Ray Kroc, and I put this in the WHAM text thread the other day. Ray Kroc's 2 rules for success: be at the right place at the right time, then take massive action. So we're at the right place at the right time. You need to be taking massive action, and you need to be interviewing potential partners under the same assumption. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're needing at this time. It's an explosive opportunity, guys. We have a technology which creates innovation, which unlocks new value, all those things that digital disruption can do. And we're combining that with the financial services market, which is a very, very, very large market. So this is an explosive opportunity, and you have to put it together under the right conditions and parameters, because if you don't, things are not going to end up like you want. First thing that we need to understand is that when I'm talking to a potential partner, I'm trying to read the situation, gauge what's going on, because I know from building this before and interviewing and recruiting and training a lot of people, there's no success without commitment. So if there's only an interest without commitment, probably not a good partner. You want those people that are fully committed, because with commitment, we get movement. And movement's the key to learning. With interest, we don't get that type of movement. We get a spectator, basically. So we need commitment. That leads to movement. That's the key to learning. And then as we look at the marketplace right now, whether it's personal contact, online, events, referrals, we've got a lot of information that needs to go out into the marketplace and be absorbed. We've tried to create a system for you guys where it's very easy to open conversations, get people things of value, create leads, and then through the process of either automation or manual, push them through the pipelines. Remember, no matter what you're trying to do, even if it's social media, the main goal is to introduce something of value, create a lead, and then push that lead into a booked education meeting so we can talk to them further, get to know them more, and figure out what we can possibly do to help them. Referrals are a big part of a lot of businesses, but guys, we don't ask for referrals. We don't get referrals. I see how you guys are operating, and this goes for all of us, including people at the top. Dale Carnegie says 91% will give referrals if asked. That's a huge number, you guys, but look at the opposite. Only 11% asked. So what you need to do is, you've done a good job. You provided value, you solved problems, ask for referrals. On the client side, this is much needed information. Who do they know? Who do they care about that needs access to this information? If you don't ask for the referral, you don't get the referral. If you do ask for the referral, a lot of times you're going to get some more people to talk to. Also, we need to be contacting our team. As you are building and as you classify yourself as a builder, we have to support, train, coach, mentor, but all that happens from contacting our team. So when you bring somebody on, and I've told you this before, recruitment doesn't stop at the point they sign up. Recruitment's actually another 60, 90 days after that to secure a solid partner. So if you sign somebody up, don't talk to them, the probability that's going to be a successful partner is near zero. And then we need to get better at reading situations. We need to get better at getting rid of people as quickly as possible that don't fit into personas for our partner, for our clients, in sales situations, reading if this is not going to be something that goes through to the end result. The easier it is for you to read situations, the easier it is for you to build, recruit, sell, handle clients, because at the end of the day, you're reading situations, and you're being proactive instead of reactive to reading those situations, which frees up time, energy, resources to devote that back into the proper situation. Also, we need to understand for ourselves and for our partners as they come in, how we get paid. I'm shocked at how many of you guys still really don't understand how you get paid. As you move up and as you build and as you, start to attain different contract levels, you build branch offices, you need to understand for yourself how you get paid, because somebody asks how we make money and you fumble through that, they're not going to have a lot of confidence in your ability to lead them to the type of income they want to attain. All right, you guys, last week we talked about the 4 levels of understanding to create independence. We talked about small details being are really mattering in business, living and breathing your business, avoiding unnecessary roadblocks in conversion, realizing you have important and needed information, and learning how to open your mouth and start a conversation. So this week, we're going to go into recruitment. So the idea or the process of, talking to people, interviewing, talking about the opportunity, career path, comp plan, whatever it is, that's recruitment. Recruitment builds offices. So if you have a client sale, that's great. You've helped that client out. Hopefully you'll ask for some referrals, and that, leg will continue a little bit longer. However, there's going to be a defined endpoint to that. In recruiting qualified business partners, this is helping you with dedicated distribution, setting up those channels, getting us to the type of income on a passive level that we're looking for. All great companies, if they want to grow, you guys, they hire, they invest, they advertise. If you see a company not doing any of these things, they're on the decline. They're not growing, they're dying. So you need to get out there and learn how to talk about your business, talk about the advantages of your business, whether it's a client or the partner side, and you need to invest in yourself as well as your business. And you need to learn how to advertise. Remember, advertising throws fuel on the fire. And what we want to do is take that necessary step in transformation from all outbound marketing to where we have to actually manufacture the demand, to where we get inbound marketing now that, people have been introduced to a little bit about what we do. They have general interest and they're wanting to talk to you. One thing that you need to understand is that when you are talking to potential partners, you need to, like I said, read the situation. The earlier that you can find out that if somebody's looking for a job versus a business opportunity, the easier it is for you not to completely close that conversation, but to do what? To pivot over to the client side. We know most Americans are burdened with what we have solutions for, their problems. So you don't want to end the conversation at that point. Try to extract value out of it, but make sure that you're not carrying a long, lengthy conversation with somebody who's looking for a job, trying to fit them into, a business partner. It just doesn't work. Cut the time short, pivot, move on. You also have to decide, what is your primary motivation for recruiting? If your primary motivation for recruiting is selling someone a product or a service, I feel that's an old, outdated model. My primary motivation in recruiting is bringing in qualified, bona fide business partners that can help me create dedicated distribution channels around the country and help me manage that, so where they reach their goals, I reach my goals, and as a team, we're all winning. You also need to understand the generations. So if I'm talking to a baby boomer, a Gen X, or a millennial, I have to understand that all of these 3 generations, they grew up during different times. They have different visions of the world. They have their own each unique generational issues that they're dealing with. If you're talking to a millennial and you're coming at them with baby boomer solutions, you're not talking to them. They're not getting anything that they're digesting that's making sense to them. So understand, who am I talking to and what language or communication am I presenting them, and is it making sense? Also, as you move forward, get uncomfortable, guys. Upgrade your network. Talk to people that you might fear talking to a little bit. Trust me, the more that you do that, the more that you get out of your comfort zone, this is an opportunity where if somebody already has a successful business, they're already wealthy, does not necessarily mean they won't be interested in this, because Good entrepreneurs, savvy entrepreneurs, good business people, they recognize and they smell opportunities. So when you see this, you see the problem, the magnitude of the problem, you see the solution that we have, it's going to be attractive to a lot of people. Quality over quantity. And that's one of the most important things, because you can bring in a lot of people. I could bring in a ton of people every single month to this business, and I could support, train them, put hours into them, and watch them do exactly what I know they're going to do in that interview, which is nothing. So you have to make sure that you're bringing in the right people, because you, whoever's helping you is going to put, like I said, time, energy, resources into these people. There's an investment. We want to make sure, read the situation. Is there a possibility for us to get a return off that time invested? If you bring in the right people, you're, who knows what they're going to do, but you're always one recruit away from explosive growth. And in a situation like this, where we can create dedicated distribution channels across the country, it's kind of like pulling the slot machine. You never know what's going to happen. You try to bring in the best people, but ultimately, one of those people could really make the explosion in your organization that creates, massive distribution channels. So when you're out there in the trenches on a day-to-day basis, you're not thinking about the negative side. What if the next person who picks up the phone responds back to my text negatively? Flip that mentality. What if the next person I talk to, what if the next person I email is one of these people that's going to be my core group that creates distribution? Never, ever, ever been easier, in my opinion, to do what we do than right now. Why is that? Because there's a paradigm shift happening that was forced on a lot of us. And that paradigm shift is going back to the office, doing those commutes. There's a lot of different reasons, but I call this the great migration. People and money are on the move. People are making decisions now that, they never thought 4 years ago they would have to be making. So understand what that means for us as talent scouts. There's a lot of people in disruption right now. If you can learn how to talk to these people, show them a way to get what they want. I can tell you guys, 3 or 4 years ago, it was crickets out there in terms of everybody was placed in their job. Everybody was happy. Everybody was satisfied. There wasn't much going on. It is a 180-degree opposite environment right now. If you go out there and you learn how to open conversations, the floodgates will open, because we have something attractive for the right type of person. And that's right here, right now. We're not talking about, hey, prep this for 6 months. Right here, right now, this is happening. So when you understand the environment, this is a time to attack, guys. This is not time to be laid back, passive. You have to go out there, open conversations, and be confident in your ability to help the general public, whether that's partner or client. But on the partner side, like I said, a lot of people are on the move right now. Be curious, ask questions. One of the easiest ways, and I always tell you guys, to start conversations and kind of envision yourself in a blind date in partner conversations. Go on a blind date, the only thing you really have to do is just ask some questions, get the conversation going. Same thing here. Ask questions, be curious, value somebody's opinion, get them talking. Trust me, people want to talk, people want to open up. And then when they open up and talk to you, you're going to get that information. That information uncovers a problem you have a solution for that leads to an action step. You can never get to an action step until you've done those other parts that lead up to that. That all comes back from you opening your mouth and learning how to ask questions. We've got an entrepreneurial plan. That's an escape route. So when you're talking to people who are looking for that escape, it's making that bridge and that jump from being an employee to an entrepreneur can be scary. There's a lot of people that are doing it right now. The statistics say, more than any time in history. So you have to understand, and you have to, adapt to the environment. Who am I talking to? If they're making that jump, you have to understand there's going to be some things in their mind, and you have to help them overcome that. Because if you're making the jump from employee to entrepreneur, what's the best way to do it? Well, you come in, with, a defined system, a defined business where I can get all the help I need, instantly start making money. It's not a ground zero operation where they've got to build the infrastructure. They plug in, it's predictable, it's profitable. We have something here. That comes back to selling your vision. So the company has a vision, you have a vision. I like to lead with my vision that's part of the company's vision, because if you can get good at asking questions, opening conversations, and selling your vision, not selling products and services, what are you trying to do? Who are you looking for? And what does that mean as a collective effort? As a leader, you have to sell your vision. Leaders don't force people to follow. They invite them on a journey. Why would they want to come follow me? Because this is what I'm trying to do over the next coming months and years. This is what it means for me and my family. This is what it can mean for you and your family. Does this make sense? Do we have a commitment? Can we meet halfway and get this done? Why does your organization do what it does? And remember, the why is big part. Your why motivates you to get the things done necessary to make this happen. Your organization has a why as well. And when you're talking to people, helping them understand their why, as far as the company, your why, getting to know their why, that really helps us create a vision. And I've got it really for the next decade. I think what happened coming out of the financial crisis of 08, 09, those ultra low interest rate environments that encourage everybody to take on debt, risk, all of these things, we're coming to a period now we'll have to deleverage. What's a great place to be deleveraging in? The debt market, right? Teaching people how to convert debt to wealth, teaching them that when interest rates rise, we don't want to pay interest on debt, we want to receive interest on assets. So our vision for this entire decade is extremely strong. We're not talking about, a problem that's here today, gone tomorrow. And that vision and that mission should help solidify a lot of these conversations and should help you understand who is that person on the other end that I'm talking to. And once again, reading that situation, does it make sense to continue this conversation, pivot this conversation, or close this conversation? Because at the end of the day, you got to pick out the right people. There's going to be a string of people coming through, and we go through the process in the beginning. Oh, somebody's excited about our business. We bring them in, they're the wrong person. We learn from that. You have to learn from your failures as well as your successes. And once again, going back to like the dating analogy, if you have a bad relationship, maybe you don't know exactly who you're looking for, but you know who you're not looking for. And so you have to learn from that, create a persona, and then going forward, really understand, like I said, between the background, the identifiers, the goals, the challenges, the demographics, how they spend their time online, and the interests they have. You got a partner persona. This is who I'm looking for. This is where I'll probably find them. This is what I'm going to say to them to have a good percentage of those people raise their hand and say, yes, I want more information. Remember, if you're looking for somebody that you don't know who it is, you're not going to find them. Don't force pieces that don't fit. Like I said, you have the opportunity to pivot, extract value out of that lead you created, but ultimately don't bring in things hoping and praying that they're going to change, that their interest is going to turn to commitment. Hope and a pray for our partners and our clients is not a viable action plan. I do care about what people have done professionally in the past, but I really care about what they're going to do going forward. And at the end of the day, you want to break this down when you're talking to somebody. I need to know from their side whether they've had a great past or a not so great past professionally. What is it they want to do? And like I said, I'm looking for somebody who understands this opportunity, willing to commit because of one thing. They see it and they want to win. You got to connect the dots in the conversation. The easier it is to connect the dots, the easier it is to read through the situation, the easier it is for you to resolve leads, and the easier it is for you to become a good steward of time management. So we always talk about, time management, running the day versus the day running you. Same thing here with conversations. The easier that you can resolve these conversations, you don't want to spend 20 minutes talking to someone who's not a good fit when you could have closed that conversation down in 2 or 3 minutes, because that other 17, 18 minutes can be invested into something that's got a better chance for a better return. We got a turnkey system. I mentioned this earlier, but for somebody looking to come in, plug and play, predictable, profitable, for the right person. Guys, recruiting, hiring, training, supporting, coaching, mentoring, it's frustrating because at the end of the day, you can't want something more than the other side wants it. You can't give somebody a work ethic. We can give a lot of tools, training, support, resources, all those things we talk about, but this is going to be frustrating. You're going to have good days, bad days, but you've got to not get too high, not get too low, keep that even kill, and realize that if you've developed a system, you develop a persona, you know who you're looking for, through the process of not, like I said, bending your persona, bringing in the wrong people, the right people will come in, and then this frustration will turn to excitement as you see certain people start to gain interdependence and then independence from you to create their own branch offices. To be a great recruiter, there's some things that you need to do, especially in the new environment. You need to challenge conventional thinking. We are new, you need to think new. How do things look today? And what are the real answers, the solutions? Where is there opportunity to better my life, my client's life, my partner's life? Locate hard to find top talent. Like I said, great migration right now. You want to prospect in a new way, get people talking. Like I said, there are so many people on the move. Open your mouth, watch what happens. And then sales and marketing, be good at what you do. Brand yourself with perks and cultural values. And then turn passive prospects to eager candidates. Recruiting the successful, have them see the path that we can provide and they actually want to be a part of. And then number 5, your ability to leverage data to your advantage. Know what you're talking about, keep it current, keep up on the news, be relevant, and understand that what you're bringing to the marketplace is timely and very, very needed. You have to paint a picture for people. If you're going to recruit the successful, you got to show them how you get to the point they want to get to. You can't map out stair steps, a ladder to get where they want to go, and it seems confusing to them, you're going to lose them. So you got to dare to ask for what you want. This is what I'm looking for. Hey, if you don't fit into this, that's okay. I might be able to help you in another way, but this is strictly what I'm looking for. And on the opposite side, if you do fit into there, let's talk about what I can possibly do for you, your family, your future, your clients, all of those things. When somebody asks you a question in recruiting and interviewing, you need to answer that question fast. If you go on a long diatribe that goes off in several different directions, guess what? People's attention spans are very small. They might have even forgot the question they asked by the time you're, a minute into, some long, lengthy explanation. So when somebody asks you the question, if you know the answer them quickly. That's confidence. If you don't know the answer, don't BS. Let them know, hey, I don't exactly know that answer, but I know somebody who does. Talk about advantages. We have huge advantages here. They go on and on and on and on. Once again, don't get too lengthy. What's the top advantages? What's the main reasons that we have advantages in the marketplace, in the industry, whatever it is that you're talking about? Paint the picture. What's going to happen in the future with or without them? Remember, a partner, they can come in and we really have no determining factor over what they're going to do or not going to do. But in the very beginning, we can paint the picture because I understand where I'm trying to take our team and understand that the individuals within that team, what that can mean for them. Paint the picture. This is so important. And we've talked about this several times in this meeting today. 50-50 is not going to cut it. You got to get rid of those people. Somebody says, well, it sounds good. I'll give it a try. No, that doesn't work for us. We're looking for full commitment because what we get from or what we give from our side is a full commitment. Training, support, coaching, mentoring, energy, resources. We put, financial backing behind some of our partners sometimes. And we're also looking for people that want to win. They want to win in a big way. 10X, is something that we follow along with as well. If somebody has low goals, low dreams, not much of a vision, how motivated are they going to be by that unclear or kind of simple vision? You got to set ground rules when you're talking to people. You got to set the purpose of the conversation. You got to allocate a time frame. How long is this going to take? You got to agree on an outcome, and you got to summarize the next actions. The better you guys get at framing your conversations, the easier it is to get people to fall in line, because when you set ground rules and you frame the conversation, one of two things is going to happen. That person's going to fall in line. They're going to give you a reason why they can't. And if they can't, reading through the situation, that might not be a partner that really falls into the persona of who we're looking for. And pivot, don't pause. If it's not a good business opportunity from one side or the other, it doesn't make sense. Don't just end the conversation. Don't pause. Don't press the eject button. Don't throw your hands up. Pivot over to client services. A lot of people need what we have. And always, always, always don't get off, whether it's a meeting, a phone call, whatever it might be, without not only letting them know what the next action step is, but going ahead and scheduling that. So, somebody who just gets done with a meeting and sends their calendar link out for the other side to schedule the meeting versus somebody that at the end of that meeting summarizes the next action step and schedules it right then and there. Well, you can see what we do or what person A does versus what person B does. Person B is going to get a lot more booked meetings, and they're not going to be chasing people for that meeting that they should have actually scheduled at the end of the first meeting. This is what it looks like when you're done correctly. A, B, endpoint right there. If you don't summarize the next action steps, if you don't frame the conversation, if you don't do any of the things we were just talking about, you're going to leave the other side in a state of utter confusion. And usually when people are confused, they'll just break down, become paralyzed from taking any action steps, and just drift away from all communication. All right, in closing, guys, real quick, couple things. You can beat a lot of people out there just by having a plan. Talk about this in the 12-week year group. Talk about this most all the time. Have a plan, follow the plan, and you'll be surprised how successful you can actually be. Most people don't have a plan. That's why it's easy to beat most folks. You need to play the long game. So once you've understood what you're trying to do here, what you're trying to accomplish, a little bit about what that end result can look like for you and your family, you put it together, all the personas, the action plan, the communication, then what you understand is that you have to give your efforts time to compound. If you do not and fall off and drift off early, well, the person who actually finishes the race, you're going to look back and see them versus what you did not accomplish with a lot of regret. At the end of the day, like I said, one of two things is going to win for you, your partners, and your clients. Either the excuses or the dreams. One of those is going to win out. Which is more powerful? That's really up to whoever it is that we're talking to. And then don't let your fear, we were talking about this earlier, don't let your fear of what could happen make nothing happen. So when we look at things, we look at marketing and we look at reaching out, we look at communication. Sometimes we look at, oh man, I hope this person doesn't react negatively. Or you get that text message back with a negative comment. That's expected, guys. When you're a marketer, when you're doing something big, when you're doing something new, and you're out there on a daily basis letting people know what you can do for them, expect some, expect some negative comments, expect some negative feedback. But at the end of the day, every time you're going into a meeting, a phone call, a text, a social media message, you should have a positive mindset that this next message, this next phone call could be one that breaks the dam wide open for your business. That's all we got for today, guys. See you next week. Let me stop the recording.